You get this straight, shit kicker. Don't you go mistaking me for some whole other body. You got your brains in your dick if you think we're just gonna fade away. We're gonna be here till this thing's finished.
All right, guys, so we're here for round 2 of the protests, and the chief is even out here this time. That's Chief Captain Williams. So there's Captain Williams. He's the police chief of Yucaipa, for those who didn't know. That's the police chief right there. Now, they were talking about protesting in front of Juice It Up. And I do want to say, guys, support your local Yucaipa business. Don't let this cause you to not want to support Yucaipa businesses. Come and support Yucaipa businesses, especially with the pandemic and the lockdown. They need your support, guys. They need your business. Yesterday, some people came out to get justice for Floyd, and many Yucaipa residents tried to run them out, and now they're back to show them we are going to have our voice heard. Justice for George Floyd. Our voice will be heard. Because that's what we're protesting against. We're protesting against tyranny and prejudice, brutality, racism, bullying by the police. Not all police, but if you're guilty, you know, if the shoe fits, wear it. So there are some officers, some law enforcement officers that are trying to do good, but when they do bad, we're going to protest and we're going to let our voice be heard. And so that's why they're out here protesting en masse today, to let the Yucaipa residents that tried to shut down the protest yesterday know that our voice will be heard, including mine, because I am also against brutality and bullying and racial profiling and abuse of authority and all of that, excessive use of force. We're against that, guys. Police officers can use force and not be overly aggressive. It's possible. It is possible to build a bridge of communication with your community. Some law enforcement officers just can't understand that. Some. Now, I think we've gotten pretty lucky in Yucaipa. A lot of our deputies are pretty professional, pretty understanding. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, they didn't deserve to die. And that is the cry that started it all. I can't breathe. That's really the match that lit this fuse. People are tired of it. So this is what happens when you try to quiet the voice of protesters. They come out en masse. So this is what happens when you try to quiet the protesters. You can't quiet people. We're tired of it. We want people to hear the voices. I just did it with my mic unplugged, and for some reason my internal mic is causing that water sound. It's my internal mic that's causing it. So I'm back on my external mic. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out. Maybe it's the iOS update. So you can't quiet the masses of America. They want their voices to be heard. And that's how it is. I love this.
Police!
People are coming out in support of these protesters en masse. This is what you see behind me right here. The street. They're letting everybody hear their voices. That's what it's all about. America is built on the First Amendment, the right to peaceably assemble, the right to redress your grievances, and the right to free speech. And last night we saw some First Amendment violations by some people, so they came back out and said, nope, we're going to exercise our First Amendment rights. And that's what a lot of these protests are about, civil rights. They're being taken away slowly. And now they're saying that the coroner might be saying George Floyd died from some underlying cause. Well, let's not forget that an officer had his knee on the man's neck for 9 minutes. Whether he died of a heart attack or whether he died because his lungs stopped, the cop had his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. So, we got a troll behind us. We got a troll behind us. So, we have an agent provocateur in the back trying to disrupt the protest. Let me move up here out of his way. Yeah, the guy was saying I have fake news. No, it wasn't fake, guys. The camera caught it. The camera caught it. I mean, how can it be fake if the camera's recording it? Hi. Here we go. This is what the scene looks like in Yucaipa right now. They tried to shut down their voices and they came back en masse, which proves that you cannot stop the First Amendment. Not as long as Americans are willing to come out and exercise it. Yeah, I don't have fake news. But again, I've said time and time and time again, I'm not a journalist like you'll see on KABC Eyewitness 7 or KCAL 9 or CNN. I'm an activist that just happens to journal events and ongoings in the community. So yeah, you're going to get a little bit of a different news from me. You're not going to get that standard and the weather today with meteorologist Dan. No, you're going to get what's going on in our society. That's what you're going to get. So they're marching onto the police station now. They just said 9 minutes of silence for George Floyd as we descend upon the police department. So I'm going to go ahead and join in the silence, but I'll keep it rolling. There it is, guys. This is what it's about. I'm going to have to narrate, but I'm going to be real silent doing it. Because, They're doing silence for George Floyd. And it's not just George Floyd, it's Breonna Taylor, it's Ahmaud Arbery, it's David McAtee. I'm trying to remember all the names. I've done the editorials. But person after person after person dying in the hands of the police. And that doesn't make the police bad. It makes certain police officers bad. And those police officers that would turn their head and stay silent are just as bad. So, thank you. And so, you know, there's a saying, to be silent. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but to be silent is to be complicit. Something to that effect. Somebody will put it in the comments. But to be silent is to be complicit. You know, they say, see something, say something. Well, it depends on what you're saying to what you're seeing. You know, a woman sees a black man bird watching in the park and her dog goes after him and he says, can you leash that dog? So she calls and lies to the police. And it was reported that she got fired over that because she lied to the police. So see something, say something matters when it's appropriate. And what I mean is, don't lie. Don't be racially profiling, racially divided. But when you see an indiscretion, or you see an inhumanity, or you see something, say something then. Does that make sense? Like, don't just say something because you see a black man working on his car and you say, oh, look, what's he doing, stealing it? No, he's working on his car. But when you see, you know, a man holding another man on the ground about to kill him, say something. When you see a cop with a knee in somebody's neck for 9 minutes, say something. When you see cops go into a house for drugs and they shoot an innocent EMT worker and find no drugs, say something. When you see two white men run down a black jogger and shoot him, say something. When you see the police shoot into a crowd and David McAtee is shot dead, and no body cameras were running, say something. I didn't even realize I was going to get this view right here. One tin soldier rides away. Bum 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 bum.
One tin soldier rides away.
Solidarity, guys. This is what solidarity is. Right here.
We got the law here, Billy Jack.
When policemen break the law, then there isn't any law. Just a fight for survival.
Oh. Oh. Sarge just took off real quick. I think she might have lost somebody. Let's go find out what's going on over here. I have to get back anyway.